Hello, Kindred Spirits, and welcome back to Bits and Bob's Divination. My name is Caitlin, and today we are going to be looking into the messages on their way in for you. So let's go ahead and dive right in. Alright, so welcome back, my beautiful Kindred Spirits, and anyone new who may be joining us here on the channel today. We are exploring, like I said, any messages that are on their way in, messages you need to hear right now, or other sort of focuses that Spirit wishes to share with you. I really wanted to do this as I feel like at the start of a new year, we tend to get really driven and focused on really big lofty things, and sometimes we just need to focus on one little thing or a small little thing to be reminded of. So I wanted to keep these quite simple and easy and calming, and so I really hope that they really give you what you need to hear. We are going to look at the piles here in a moment, but if you are interested in the New Year's readings that I do, I have snail mail and digital reading options open right now with 2 different spreads that you can choose from to look into the bridge to the new year or to look into a whole year ahead spread that I actually personally use for myself. So if that's something you're interested in, if you really want to look deeper into your new year with more ease and understanding, then feel free to check out all the information on that down below through my Instagram, and I also have helpful and honest reviews over there too. So we're going to go ahead and get started though by looking at your piles. So I have 3 different piles here, and I'm going for the classic 3 different sort of black crystals that were really calling to me. So here for pile number 1, this crystal of black tourmaline may be calling out to you. So if you're feeling called to this one, then that would be pile number 1. Here for pile number 2, there is this cube piece of black obsidian. So if you're feeling called to this piece of black obsidian, then that is pile number 2. And last but not least here for pile number 3 is this piece, very shiny piece of Shungite. So if you're feeling called to this one, then that is pile number 3. But before you start heading off to the timestamps, as always, I like to invite you to take a deep and cleansing breath here with me in just a moment to really collect your thoughts, to collect your own intuition, to call in your guides and connect with the piles. So let's go ahead and take a deep breath together here now. And as always, there's no right or wrong way to choose your piles here. You can choose a pile and change your mind, or you can choose a pile and take little bits and pieces from all of them if you wish to. All of the timestamps will be down below in the description alongside the chapter marks of this video. And as I mentioned earlier, feel free to check out my Instagram down below to see more honest reviews and to see the other things that I may be offering alongside those New Year's readings. So with that all said, let's go ahead and look here at pile number 1. Hello group 1, if you decide to choose this piece of black tourmaline, then this is the pile for you, as we are going to be exploring a much more low-key, more chill kind of reading here today, with only 2 decks here and the charms, which I'll have, as always, listed down below in the description. But we're going to be just looking into sort of a main focus for you right now, and what is surrounding that focus with some charms and cards. So we're not going to go I guess we're going to go deep into specifically the card that's going to show up as your focus, but we're just going to see what messages are coming forward, because I feel like as we get into the new year, right, sometimes we can have these big lofty goals, these big ideas and dreams that we're working towards, and sometimes we just need to hone down, focus on one thing, or try not to overwhelm ourselves. So I thought this might be kind of helpful for those of you who are feeling kind of overwhelmed at the start of a new year. So let's go ahead and start first with a main focus card, something that's showing up for you as sort of a lesson or message from Spirit, from the universe, just because you needed to hear it. We're going to see what comes forward. So here we go, group 1. And definitely feel free to connect, as always, with the cards here and see what comes forward. Feeling this one. Ooh, bit of a heavier one for you guys today, but just as equally very important and a valid card to have come forward, especially when we're in the winter time, at least here in the Northern Hemisphere. You've got the number 56 for the card, and this particular Song of the Grandmother's card is a grandmother crocodile with the keyword death. and it says, "Make peace with endings, inevitable for us all, walking beside us." So we're going to deep dive into specifically this card. Like I said, we're not going to have a huge deep dive of everything, but I did want to pull out the guidebook for this one. One, as a reminder to those of you who are new to tarot or to any kind of card reading, that a lot of the time, sometimes there's a bit of shame around using the guidebook, and I just want to remind you that, like, I use the guidebook all the time. I absolutely love diving into these. There's a reason why they were made, right? And they usually have a wealth of information inside. So specifically, your crocodile grandmother is of the destruction suit. It supports us in accepting natural forces of change with less fear and more trust. Which makes a lot of sense. Like, it's usually getting us out of our comfort zone in some way, and endings are a huge way to get us out of our comfort zones because we have to begin again. So let's go ahead and read this together, but I'll go ahead and hold it up in case you want to have a little look here first. But let's go ahead and read this entry. So it says, "Grandmother Crocodile Death. With a hint of a grin and an air of nonchalance, Grandmother Crocodile looks up from her spot of straddling the in-between of land and water. Still grounded yet prepared to swim, it's clear she is comfortable in transition. You can be too. Grandmother Crocodile waddles into your consciousness to remind you endings are inevitable. She is an ambassador of the wisdom in accepting them as an inherent part of life. Although not a harbinger of literal physical death, she also wants you to know that it's nothing to be afraid of. In fact, she might be here to assist you in making peace with mortality, whether your own or another's. Doing so will only foster your own aliveness. If you're already experiencing closure or conclusion, ask her to assist you in crossing the finish with ease. Alternatively, consider whether her appearance is a nudge to actively end something in your life that no longer serves you, from habits to beliefs in your relationship or anything else on your mind." Specifically from Grandmother Crocodile here it says, "Hi honey, I'm not going anywhere until my message lands. We two are the only ones who really know what it involves. I'm not going to rush you, that's not my way. Keep in mind, though, putting off our work together might end up being harder than just facing it. My advice, no time like the present. Make peace with endings, inevitable for all, walking beside us." A really powerful one to have come forward for you all, and I love how it was speaking about, yes, it can talk about, physical death, especially when it comes to loved ones in our lives, or if maybe you're grieving or you're going through a situation where you are still experiencing grief from even people who've passed many years ago, right? Grief is a very weird thing to go through. So some of you might be feeling grief at this time, or you might be going through some sort of situation related to grief. But on top of that, I really like that it was just talking about how sometimes we fear the inevitable of certain endings that must come forward for us. And so I want to see the context surrounding this card so we can see more about it. So let's pull 2 more cards here to look at what else. Oh my gosh, you got the death card as well. You guys are definitely experiencing some sort of big ending, because not only did you get like the oracle card of, the crocodile here, but you also got the death card, which whenever you get a major arcana card, it represents a really big ending in our lives, right? There's other ending cards, but this is a really big one. So you're currently going through a situation, maybe just the end of a year. Maybe that can be just giving you a fresh pair of eyes or a fresh perspective now with a new beginning, again, falling in that transition, falling in that gap in between. There's even like sort of a chasm here where what was before no longer can be, because you're on the other side of it. So I feel like you guys might already be on the other side of whatever the transition period was, but of course we're gonna keep looking. So group 1 here. You also got here, I really feel like you guys are in that transitionary period of like, what do I do now? What am I supposed to do now that this ending has happened? It's not something you can change. It's not something that you have power over or control over, but I feel like some of you are trying to figure out how to move forward. What's the next step? And some of you might be feeling overwhelmed by far too many options, too many dreams, too many paths ahead of you, that maybe it's just feeling crazy overwhelming. As you can see, this person is looking at 7 cups here full of a whole bunch of different things. We've got snakes, we've got people, we've got dragons and houses, right? There's so much to explore. And so sometimes when we finish things, right, that it also gives us so many possibilities that it can feel overwhelming, or we can feel overstretched because maybe we're saying yes to too many of them, or maybe we're feeling that sort of paralysis feeling where there's just too many options. You don't really know where to start or what to do or what to say. And so I feel like that is where you guys are currently at, and that's your situation right now when it comes to being in this transitionary liminal space after a death experience has come forward, after some sort of finish line has completed, after a really big possibly bittersweet situation has come forward, or a grief period that you are still working through. But now that you're on the other side of it, it's just trying to figure out, where do you go from here? That is sort of the question that's surrounding you right now. And so I want to see if we get any advice from the charms here to see anything else that might be coming forward to give you a little bit of advice. So let's pull some from here. Okay, we got some rollers happening here. So we have this little marble. It fell over here, so I'm going to put it there. I will zoom you in so you can see. This table isn't perfectly balanced, so these ones like to roll around. All right, so you have a couple of different things coming forward. For some of you, you might be feeling that it is a loss of some sort, especially related to family or a pet in your life, as you did get the little paw prints charm coming forward, or an animal. That maybe you might not have even been close to this animal, but it could have just been, something that you witnessed, or something that you have heard about, even a story that really affected you. But there's something coming forward with like family, pets, or someone who is following in your footprints, that maybe there's a situation in which you've been like a mentor towards someone, or you've been a leader for someone, and you're now having to sort of maybe cut those apron strings, or you're having to have someone not be able to follow in your footsteps anymore, that they have to be more independent, or go on their own a little bit. So there's something kind of showing up in that way as well with this one. And maybe that's some context surrounding here, showcasing maybe of letting go a little bit, or working through certain grief around that. You also got the marble charm. So this made me think of like, because it's a cat's eye marble, so maybe it's related to, a fur baby of some kind, particularly maybe a cat. Otherwise, this also can represent like a childlike feeling to it, with the idea of like, I played with marbles a lot when I was a child, so I think of it that way. I also can think of it as like you're losing your marbles, but I'm not really getting that from this. It feels more of the cat's eye feeling, or this sort of sense of like innocence, childhood, a young new beginning maybe on the horizon here for you. You also got the unknown charm, and this felt kind of overarching over everything here, and on a new moon, which it represents something new. So something new is very overwhelming. It feels, this is the unknown dark matter charm, right? The dark matter of the universe, things that you can't really see or fully understand, but they do make, they do structure the universe in some way. They do keep us, they're the invisible glue, basically. And so when I'm looking at this, it's telling me that there is something right now of some sort of advice, some sort of support that is here to help you, but it's feeling very invisible, or it's feeling like it's not something you can touch or grab or fully understand. But when this support comes forward, it's going to make a real big difference. Maybe it's some sort of support from an anonymous person. Maybe it's a smile from someone on the street, and it just kind of helps you through some grief. Maybe it's like, having a conversation about this loss or this finish line that you've completed with a stranger, right? So it feels like it's coming from some unknown place, or somewhere that feels foreign as well, because you did get the sort of foreign charm. When I look at this one, I can't maybe one day I could read it, but it's an unknown language to me, so I'm not able to read this or fully understand it. And so for me, it's just it can talk about like in a miscommunication way. I can see it as that, but it also can represent something that feels very foreign, just out of your native tongue. So when I'm looking at this too, it's making me think too that this might be coming you might be getting some sort of support coming forward from an anonymous or a stranger or someone who, just wants to give you a little bit of support in some way, but it's not going to be easy to say exactly where, because you won't really know until it happens. But I do feel this support coming forward. It also could be too that this could be a spirit coming forward as well, that you might be working with, maybe a new spirit guide, as this, is a new form of communication, and also that dark matter universe feeling to it. And then also over here on your sort of moving forward card of the Seven of Cups, where you're feeling maybe overwhelmed or you have a lot of choices. Some of those choices, maybe the reason why you're holding back on being able to choose one or take one is because, again, you're still moving through grief. Maybe there's a bit of, when I've moved through grief, at least, I know everyone experiences it differently. Sometimes there can be that feeling of, like, you don't want to move on. Like, you feel like you're forgetting them or leaving them behind, or you're putting them aside in some way, not letting them take up your whole psyche anymore, and letting just a little bit of that kind of come to unravel a little bit. And I do feel that here, as this is the blackened heart, can represent feeling down, sad, or feeling that sort of sense of grief. But right above it you have the creativity charm. So I really feel like you are in a situation where, again, you're in that transition of letting go a little bit, allowing just a little bit of yourself to come forward after a period of grief. And so those are sort of your advice messages here. I would say the support of a stranger is coming forward, a feeling of maybe letting someone go more independently, or allowing yourself to continue to live after a period of grief. And so these are the things that are coming forward and surrounding your world right now, and messages that maybe you needed to hear. I do hope that this has been useful and helpful to you in navigating any experience that you have going on around this. It is definitely a heavier pile, so I do want to just send you guys a little hug, a little bit of support your way. I know that you're not alone in these experiences for sure. And if you did enjoy this reading, if you got something out of it, definitely be sure to give this video a like, and let me know in the comments down below what you saw, or if you saw something differently. I'd love to hear. And if you are interested in the other pick a card readings that I have on this channel, especially the New Year's ones that I've recently put up, or other ones on charm casting or art magic, then definitely feel free to subscribe, as I put out new videos every single Monday. And if you're interested in the New Year's readings that I do for both snail mail and digital reading options to help you kind of navigate your new year with more confidence and more ease, then definitely feel free to check those out down below as well. It's a great way to support yourself and to support the channel, so I really do appreciate anyone who, reaches out for one of those. So with that all said, I'm going to go ahead and close off your reading. I hope to see you guys in the next one. Bye. Hello group 2. If you decide to choose this little cube of black obsidian, then this is the pile for you, as we begin to explore what you've got coming in for messages that maybe are coming from spirit, maybe they're just coming in because they're a reminder you need to hear, or anything else that the cards want to share with you. We're just going to see what mysteries show up there. I want to do this with very few materials and very few pulls. I'm only going to pull 3 cards and some charms, because I really want this to be a very calm reading. I know that after the new year, right, we got these big ambitious goals. We want to get this done, we're doing this, we're moving over here, we've got that going on, and sometimes we just need to just focus on one little thing and see what's going on there versus that big overwhelming spread. So that's kind of the feeling that I was feeling for you all today. It was just sort of a much more calm reading, so I hope that this is for you, but still just as honest and useful. We're going to be doing that with the charms, as well as the Song of the Grandmothers and the Queer Tarot. I'll have all of the information on these decks down below in case you're curious what I'm using, but we're going to go ahead and get right into it by pulling first a Song of the Grandmothers sort of focus card. I find these to be really helpful, and we're going to really deep dive into this specific card. So this is really going to be the focus of the messages coming forward for you. So definitely feel free to really connect with the cards as I shuffle, or feel free to pause and call in any guides you wish to. So let's see. Group 2. What messages are coming forward for you, Group 2, at this time? What do you need to hear? Group 2, Group 2. A couple of them keep trying to come out, so it's like they're trying to make up their mind. Okay, so you have Grandmother Peppermint, and the message here from them is rest. So you have the number 4, which is a very restful number. It's a number of support. It's a number of feeling protected enough and safe enough in order to rest, right? It's really hard to rest when we're stressed or we're feeling overwhelmed by things, or things feel too chaotic or too all over the place. And so we really need that number 4 to come forward, that safety, that security, that comfortability to be able to rest. And so I like that that is being shown here. But yeah, you have Grandmother Peppermint, rest. Oh, actually it says reset. I've just realized it actually says reset, but maybe the message is actually rest for you all. I'm curious. Maybe it's a little bit of both, but reset also, you know, to reset something, you kind of do need a little bit of that comfort too. But I was really feeling that feeling. So we're going to see if that continues to align here. Maybe it's just my intuition coming forward. But it says aromatic lift, expand your inside senses, inhale and exhale love. So we're going to look even deeper into this one. Like I said, I'm still feeling that rest message, so that might be coming forward as well. But I also like the feeling of like reset, almost like a fresh, like that fresh feeling you get after you brush your teeth and you just feel really fresh and like clean and reset and you can just start over. That's the feeling that I'm getting here also from this card. So let's go ahead and look into the guidebook here, as I feel like, you know, as I've mentioned many times on this channel, I feel like guidebooks get a lot of bad rep. I feel like, especially from new readers who are starting out and they're like, well, use the guidebook, don't like use it as a crutch, which I get, but at the same time, it's a really helpful and useful resource. So I definitely encourage you all to use them. So it's part of the Self-Love Grandmother Suit, and it says it helps us to start new cycles of development by stepping out of judgment and into compassion. Out of judgment and into compassion. So we're going to see, maybe you're feeling a bit of judgment towards yourself at this new reset of the new year. Maybe that's that feeling of rest that I was talking about too, of maybe those two things are conflicting. Curious. So here is the little guidebook entry if you want to read it yourself, but I'm going to go ahead and read it with you all here now. All right, so it says here, the cluster of Grandmother Peppermint's leaves appears up close, as though lifted by hands to the nose for a deep breath of minty freshness. Imagine yourself rubbing the fuzzy green softness to release the unmistakable scent on your fingers, there to linger long afterward. Chances are you need self-care in some form or some kind of refreshment. When you're not sure what to do, Grandmother Peppermint's apothecary has just the thing to soothe your ache. Calm your stomach, heal your heart, clear your mind, ease your fear, or brighten your spirits. Spend time with her in meditation, drink her tea, use her essential oils, or even take pleasure in your favorite mint candy. Feel her invigorating boost in your body, mind, and soul, and carry on with renewed vigor. Always a team player, Grandmother Peppermint offers to revitalize the themes of any other grandmothers who are visiting you today. And then this is specifically from Grandmother Peppermint here. Let's take some deep breaths together, sweetheart. Close your eyes. Feel free to do this. Close your eyes and place one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly. Ready? Imagine that the air holds currents of love. It does, in truth, and I'm the one to help you smell it. With each inhale, let that love in. On the exhale, let it out. That's it. You've got it. Don't stop now. Just keep on expanding your capacity for love. I'm leaving you for now with a kiss, but I'll just be in the kitchen anytime you need a reminder. Aromatic lift. Expand your inside senses. Inhale and exhale love. I really like that little meditation. I always think those are really interesting in this particular guidebook. I feel like they use those a lot, but I really liked how it was talking about the different ways in which you could use the peppermint, and it was like soothing your ache, calming your stomach, healing your heart, clearing out your mind, easing your fears, or brightening your spirits. So you might be feeling one or multiple of those things. You might even, like it suggested, use it in your everyday life. Brush your teeth, eat that mint candy, enjoy that mint flavored ice cream, whatever it might be. But what I'm thinking for you is what you maybe need out of this is that reset in order to feel or to experience some sort of rest, some sort of ease, right? I am thinking almost in the sense of like, like almost cleaning your space. Like it almost feels like a reset. Like maybe you need to organize your bookshelf. Maybe you need to rearrange the room. Maybe there's something that you need to reset or change or shift just a little bit in your home space in order to feel a little bit more restful in your mind space. That's the feeling that I'm getting here from particularly just this card. But of course, I want to look further. We're going to pull 2 cards to just see some more added context, and then we'll pull some charms for advice. So let's see some added context to this reset card of Grandmother Peppermint / restful card, and we'll see what comes forward. Okay, so you got the 3 of Pentacles and the Lover's card. So very interesting to have these coming forward. I'm loving all this like pink. This pink on green combo is really cute. I'm gonna zoom you in so you can see a little closer. But what I'm getting here just from the start with this context is this feeling of trying to find almost a balance in your reset to make sure that your space, your home space, your mindset, whatever it might be that needs that reset to be able to feel a bit of rest or even just ease in your space, is really coming from a need for things to be like some sort of balance between both of these cards. So the first card really representing the 3 of Pentacles, which represents teamwork, working together, making sure that the space is really useful and a valuable space for collaboration, teamwork, that kind of thing, especially if you like work from home and you collaborate with other people and maybe your desk is all out of sorts. Maybe you just need to like clean it up a little bit, tidy it, organize some things. Maybe you want to just make it so it's a lot easier to do homeschooling in your home, and there's something that just feels like you can't have this collaborative space because it just feels a little chaotic. Whatever it might be in your home, it really feels like it's in your home or your workspace or maybe your desk at work or something like that, where it really feels like you want to make sure that it's still a collaborative space, or maybe even a space that multiple people work at or use, or people go in and out of, but you want to make sure that it is also a space in which you can feel calm and restful in. And the Lover's card is really showcasing that other side of the balance, like maybe adding some extra details that make the space feel very calm for you. You know, a photo of your family at a desk, or a little charm, or a little little figurine or whatever it might be that makes it feel like home. But also the Lovers represents a lot of the time too choosing to want to be in this space as well, right? Because if your mindset is, all over the place and you're feeling chaotic and don't want to go into your living room, your kitchen, your bathroom, your schoolroom, garage, whatever it might be, because it feels too out of sorts or out of balance, that's why the Lover's card is coming forward, because it can showcase that need for a balance. And so what I'm really just getting here is that, again, there's some sort of space that's making it very difficult for you to work at or to collaborate or to get things done at, because it is too chaotic right now, or it is feeling unorganized or feeling a little bit overwhelming to be in. And so you're not able to find that rest. And so it needs that reset in order for you to feel calm or at ease there. Those are the big things that are really coming forward for me for you guys. It feels like a pretty easy fix, but something that maybe just really needs to be addressed. So let's go ahead and pull some charms to just finish off with any extra little detail we may need and some advice. Okay, I've got a couple charms showing up over here as well. Let me just see these last 2. Okay, this one keeps trying to roll away, but mostly that's because this is just not very level. So this is what I'm really getting here from your charms just from the start. So we have overarching with everything here the charm of feeling kind of fragile, feeling like something is a very delicate, or maybe it's because the space feels very like it's not entirely yours. Maybe you use the space with multiple people and so you don't want to like trample on their things. You're trying to walk quietly and tenderly, kind of walking on eggshells around certain people. So maybe that's a reason why it feels like a very delicate situation, or a situation that just requires, when it comes to resetting this, a bit of care and time put into it. So you have that showing up here. You also have the charm of the community charm, which represents, again, like I talked about earlier, with teamwork. Multiple people are surrounding this space or surrounding the situation in which this reset may need to happen. Maybe it's a reset also, like I keep talking about physical things that you can change, but it also could be a reset with like an emotional plane, or needing to communicate with certain family members or coworkers or other higher-ups in which you may need to talk to in order to feel more safe or more secure in your job, in your space, in this collaboration, or in this reset. As you also got the anchor, which represents, wanting to be anchored down, wanting to feel that safety, that security that I talked about earlier with the number 4 that was showing up here. And then over here on the Lovers card, you got more of that collaborative feeling. It always feels like a bunch of people sitting at a little dining room table whenever I look at these particular kinds of puzzle pieces. But it can also represent literally feeling puzzled about something or a missing piece. So the missing piece may be that, again, you're not feeling like you can be in this collaborative space as easily because you're not able to bring your own love to the space, your own personality to the space. Again, there's that walking on eggshells feeling. So maybe that's a situation in which maybe you need to just communicate with other people, or you need to have that reset come forward. Maybe people are only seeing you from like the absolute base level. They don't know you that deeply. They don't know your personality, and because of that, you're maybe feeling like you have to hide or hold back pieces of yourself, as you did get this little tag thing. You always see it a lot of the time in like toys and stuff that you can buy that always have that like little try me button in the store, but then when you get it home, you take out like this little piece, and then it works fully. So that's why I'm looking at this, and it kind of feels like, again, like you're not fully showing your full personality in your space or in a relationship to these people that you're collaborating with, and that's hindering possibly projects, or hindering being able to forge better bonds and better communication in the future. So overall, those are all of the charms and cards that I have here for you, for any messages that wish to come forward for you. I hope that this has been useful to you. I know that this was a much smaller reading, so I'd love to hear if you guys like these bite-sized readings, or if you're more interested in the much larger ones. Do let me know, or if you like a mix of both. And if you did like this reading, definitely be sure to give this video a like, and let me know of that feedback down below, or anything else you want to tell me about the reading. And if you enjoy these pick a card readings, I put out new ones every single Monday, as well as educational videos on charm casting, art, magic, and the like. So if that's something you're interested in, definitely feel free to subscribe. And if you're interested in getting a New Year's digital or snail mail reading for a year ahead reading to help you sort of navigate the new year with more ease and more understanding, then definitely feel free to check out all of the information for those down below. They are a great way to start off the new year and to use all year long, and are also a great way to support this channel as well as yourself. So if that's something you're interested in, definitely feel free to check it all out down below. But I'm going to go ahead and close off this reading. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye. Hello group 3, if you've decided to choose this piece of Shungite, then this is the pile for you. It's such a fun one to look at. We are going to be looking into any messages from beyond the veil, from spirit guides, or just from the universe in general that wish to present themselves to you today, right? We're just going to see what shows up. And we're going to be doing that with the charms, as well as the Song of the Grandmother's Oracle and the Queer Tarot, which I'll have all of this as always listed down below in case you're curious what we're using here today. But we're going to keep it real simple, because I feel like when we get into the new year, a lot of the time we get these big lofty dreams, big goals, big aspirations, big resolutions, and we can get ahead of ourselves or feel overwhelmed. And so I wanted to keep it very simple with just like a focus card and a couple of context advice cards, so that you don't feel too overwhelmed by these. And if you enjoy these smaller bite-sized readings, do let me know, as I'd like to do more of them in the future. But I also know that a nice big reading is helpful and useful too. So I'm going to go ahead and get you guys going. Definitely feel free to use your own intuition as always with this, and feel free to call in your own guides if you'd like to, so that they can assist in the reading. But we are going to go ahead and start first with a Song of the Grandmother card, and we're really going to dive deep into this focus card. So what do you got coming in, group 3? For anything that Spirit wishes to share with you, any messages that are coming forward, what do you need to hear right now? Is it advice? Is it reassurance? Is it just being seen in how you're feeling in the situation that you're currently in? We're going to see. So group 3. What do you got coming in? What messages wish to come forward for you? And definitely feel free to connect with the cards in the deck here. Okay, so you have here the message of freedom. I love this card. It's such a pretty wave with Grandmother Ocean Freedom. It's the number 36 in case that's useful or helpful. And it says, you can't tame the waves, lose control to find freedom. Every drop is held. Every drop is held in the ocean, right? Everything comes back to the ocean. And so I'm almost seeing this wave as like something that just keeps coming back around. And maybe you're finding your freedom again. Maybe it's something that you're revisiting like a wave does, right? Where it's something where maybe you've lost a bit of freedom in the last few months, few weeks, few years, and maybe you're regaining a bit of freedom again. And that it's, something's coming back around, that freedom, that feeling of like the sun shining through once again. That's the feeling that I just got intuitively, and it feels really nice and really sometimes freedom cards I feel just like, oh my gosh, I'm just like so free, and I'm gonna fly like a bird, and I'm just gonna like, it almost feels like super adventurous and like no reins, right? But for some reason, Grandmother Ocean, it just feels much more nurturing and much more calming in this sense of freedom that's coming forward, almost in a way that you feel mature enough to be able to hold the freedom that you have in a much more sort of compassionate way, or with much more understanding for yourself and where you stand and where others stand in the freedom around you, right? Understanding that sometimes you have more freedom than others in certain situations. And so there's a sense of maturity that's coming forward from this card as well. But we're going to put a deeper look into this by looking at the card in the guidebook. And also as a reminder, just in general, that guidebooks are super useful tools, so feel free to use them. It says here, the possibility grandmother suit is to help us embrace portals of opportunity and expansion that open as we integrate lessons. Like I said, integrating lessons, a lot of the time, right, we can integrate a lesson and then that lesson layers upon layers upon layers because, we have to experience these lessons multiple times in our lives. So there's this feeling of like you layering on things. Like this isn't the first time that you've experienced freedom, but maybe there's a new sense of freedom coming forward for you. So let's go ahead and have a little look. I'm going to hold it up here in case you want to read it yourself, but we're going to read it together. So here we go. Grandmother Ocean Freedom. The intimate swell of a single wave approaches us, lit from within and representative of an all-consuming hug from Grandmother Ocean. She invites us into confidential relationship today, but we first must decide to trust the liberation she offers. Our perception of her presence, a surprising paradox. Her magnitude, depth, and unpredictability may inspire fear, yet who is immune to the restorative joy of watching waves roll to the shore? Grandmother Ocean counsels that true freedom can only be found in relinquishing control. Allow yourself to simply be and go with the flow, or ride the wave as you see fit. Your power is as vast and strong and rhythmic as the sea. It is nothing to fear or hide. Let go and see where the wave inside you carries you. Maybe you will wash up on the shores of a long-forgotten paradise. Know, too, that the wisdom of Grandmother Ocean is as varied and as surprising as she is. Freedom is only one aspect of her nature, and she invites you to call on her any time for guidance. And then this is specifically from the grandmother here. Return to me, the womb of the earth, and feel the rhythmic caress of my embrace. No matter where we go, you are always safe in my arms. You can't tame the waves, lose control to find freedom. Every drop is held. Wow, such a good card, like truly, and that feeling of sort of going with the flow or riding the wave. I feel like that's the two kind of ways in which I was talking about earlier. Like there's the sense of like riding the wave like a surfer, right? One, you have to be very intuitive and you have to make sure that you're truly riding the wave and not forcing yourself to go one way or the other, or trying to relinquish that control. But also like that go with the flow feeling too, of like all the rivers flow back to the ocean. That's the feeling that I get more from you guys, like this feeling of a much more calm, less like intense sense of freedom that's coming forward for you all. It's not to say that you don't have any freedom, you know, or that it's lacking or something like that, but that it's like something that's just flowing back in towards you, and that it's going to take its time, that feeling, that sense of freedom, so it doesn't overwhelm you. So I want to see some context around this sense of freedom coming forward for you. Wow, that one just flew out. Let's see if we can get another one here to get some more added context. And we'll pull some charms in a minute to seek out more. Okay, yeah, definitely more of that go with the flow feeling coming forward. You wouldn't think that it'd be go with the flow, because the Seven of Pentacles can sometimes showcase a bit of a stubbornness in us, or a feeling like wanting to control things. But it's a reminder to slow down and wait for things to come in when they need to, and a feeling of freedom that comes from that. So I was going to start with the Devil card that came out, but clearly this one wants to talk. So like I said, in this case, you know, you have somebody sort of looking over their garden and they want to be able to harvest, right? They've got the tools in which to do so. They're ready to go, and yet they're not ready to harvest yet. They have to wait a few more weeks. They have to go with the flow and not try to control the situation. And so in this case, I really feel like there's something that maybe you're growing or you're trying to harvest, something maybe you're trying to maybe harvest as in like, it could be something physical, like you're harvesting a new house, or you're harvesting a new project or goal, or even a career goal that you're working towards. But you have to like wait for it to come in its own time. That's the feeling that I'm getting here. But also there's a sense too of trying to not let things bloom too early, or trying not to make something come out of its shell too early. So that also could be related to you, as in something that maybe you are coming out of your shell with and wanting to have more of that freedom from, but you have to kind of wait for it to take its own course. So I got that feeling here from the Seven of Pentacles. But over here you also have the Devil card, which flew out right off the bat. Sorry, I've got stuff in my throat today, but right off the bat with the Devil card. And so this one represents a lot of the time habits and rituals that we find ourselves in that are usually, they may have started out good, right? Sometimes we start out new rituals or new plans or new things, even like resolutions for the new year, and they're supposed to be really good. They're supposed to maybe give us more freedom, but if anything, they're kind of holding us back. As you can see, they're sort of chained back here. And so in this case, I really feel like the Devil is here to showcase that to find freedom in both of these cards, it's really relinquishing that control, knowing that even though there are goals that you want to work on, yes, you can still continue to work toward them, but that the trajectory in which those goals go towards, or how they're going to bloom, or how they're going to manifest, is like the surfer, right? You can be out there and decide to go surf the wave, right? Those decisions are yours, just like the actions in which you're taking to maybe better yourself, or resolutions that you're working towards, or projects that you're working towards, right? You're choosing to do those things, but the ocean is still, you're still at the mercy of the ocean and the freedom that it has. And so there's an unpredictability here. There's a sense of needing to just go with the flow with things and not try to put too much pressure on yourself, or try to make things happen all at once, because it's going to take time, and it's going to take a lot of intuitive moving around and surfing the waves. So that's the feeling that I'm getting here from these two cards, is that just that feeling to literally ride the wave and see what comes of it. Not that you shouldn't still be working towards goals or enjoying working towards goals and rituals that could be helpful and useful to you, but making sure that they don't start chaining you or holding you back because you're trying to control them or control the situation beyond what is in your control. So let's go ahead and pull some charms for you, and we'll get some added little context, as well as any charms to show some advice. So let's see what those are for you. So, it's funny, one of these charms hasn't come out in weeks, and all of a sudden it's been coming out in your guys' readings today, and that is this one. It's a charm that's kind of hard to explain. It doesn't really have, like, a name, but you know when you, like, buy something and it has, like, one of those, like, it has a battery in it, but it doesn't want the batteries to go bad, so it has, like, this little thing that you stick in, you have to pull it out when you buy something so that the batteries will start to work, or it has, like, a try me button that you have to take out. That's the feeling that I get here. It feels like something that's on a trial period, something that, you're trying to, sort of almost detach from. And so maybe that's part of that feeling of being kind of chained back, or you're feeling like you're having to hold yourself back a little bit from maybe trying to, get something done or get something going because there are certain circumstances that are holding you back at the moment, or are holding back the projects that, or rituals that you're working on, new, habits that you're trying to put into place, or projects that you're trying to get going. And again, you're still sort of at the mercy of the wave and trying to control how it'll, or even really when it might manifest itself is showing up here with this one. You also have the Cinderella shoe of, like, something that, will only fit if it's meant for you. That's the feeling that I get here from the Cinderella shoe. Like, again, Cinderella is the only one who could ever wear this exact glass slipper because it was made just for them. And so there's this feeling too that there's something that when it comes to habits and rituals that you're maybe trying to put into place, to be able to find ones that really work for you is because is important for you to find something that fits you specifically, and not trying to fit someone else's, like, meal plan or this habit tracker or this plan that you're supposed to do, without it being sort of more tweaked to make sure that it actually works for you. So there's something about needing to find a more perfect fit or something that better fits you. You also have the kindness charm. This I got from got from a friend. So I think of it as the kindred spirit charm, maybe someone who feels very kindred to you, someone who is like a deep friend. And so it's like you're almost finding more of a friendship with this grandmother ocean spirit energy coming forward, as it's kind of helping you to move through certain fears that you may have. A lot of our fears, right, have us kind of really put a lot of control on things because we want to avoid those fears. And so I feel like they're really wanting to collaborate with you, this freedom ocean feeling, to be able to move through fears that you might have around certain projects or rituals and habits that you're working through. You also got another heart down here too, sort of at the bottom, maybe where you're wanting to harvest things, but it feels like where this heart feels really genuine, this one feels very stone cold. And so there's something showcasing here too, that trying to chase getting things done or finished or perfect, or this perfection that's even coming forward from these charms, is only going to continue to manifest that sense of trying to control things rather than trying to allow not only freedom for yourself, but like freedom for like ease of things to move through in and out of your life. So that's the feeling that I'm getting here from your cards and your charms. A lot of your charms really just gave you kind of more of a feeling rather than particularly context. So do let me know what you saw in them down in the comments down below. And if you did enjoy this reading, definitely be sure to give this video a like. Like I said, do let me know as well if you're enjoying these smaller kind of readings, or if you're more interested in the much larger spreads. I'd like to hear your thoughts if you feel open to sharing. And if you're interested in these pick a card readings, I put out new readings every single Monday that I think you'd really enjoy. I have a lot of those New Year's readings that have recently come out that I think you guys would enjoy a lot, if you want to go deeper into stuff here. Otherwise, feel free to subscribe as I put out new readings, like I said, every Monday that you might enjoy, as well as videos on charm casting and art magic. And if you are interested in the New Year's readings that I do, I have snail mail and digital readings out right now. They're a great way to support yourself and support the channel here, and are ones that you can use all year round. So they'll be really useful and helpful for the entire year. So definitely feel free to check those out if you're interested. But we're going to go ahead and close off your reading here. Thank you so much for being here with me today, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.